Imagine walking into a room with your head high, your energy calm, and your eyes focused not on who's watching you, but on where you're going in life. That's what becoming the prize looks like. It starts with mindset. You don't attract by running after someone. You attract by knowing who you are and what you deserve. When you become the prize, you flip the script. You no longer sit waiting for his texts or analyzing his words. You are too focused on building your world, your value, your empire. And that shift, that's magnetic. Men are natural pursuers, but they only chase what they truly value. So if you want a man to chase you, the first thing you must do is become someone worth chasing, not for him, but for you. That means taking your power back. That means refusing to settle for breadcrumbs. That means being the woman who doesn't just know her worth, but lives it. Becoming the prize doesn't mean being arrogant or playing games. It means you are so deeply in touch with your inner power that you no longer need to prove your worth to anyone. You carry yourself like someone who has options, not because you want to make him jealous, but because you know that your value doesn't depend on any one man's attention. You've built your world on your own terms. Think about the energy of a woman who knows her worth. She doesn't chase. She doesn't beg. She doesn't shrink. She shows up fully owning her voice, her choices, and her boundaries. That kind of woman doesn't need to scream, "Look at me." She walks in silence, but her presence speaks volumes. And when a man senses that, he gets curious. He starts wondering who she is. He starts wanting to be part of her world. Not because she begged, but because she's become the prize, and becoming the prize starts in your daily life. It's in how you speak to yourself when no one's around. It's in how you hold your standards even when it's tempting to lower them just to feel wanted. It's in saying no to situations that don't align with your peace and yes to things that grow your confidence. You want him to chase you, then first chase your own growth. When you commit to your healing, your glow changes. You become a woman with presence, and a woman with presence is unforgettable. Too often, women are taught to win a man over, cook more, text more, prove more. But what if the real power is in doing less? What if the real power is in being still, in being selective, in being unavailable to low-effort energy? That's not playing hard to get. That's having self-respect, and that's rare in a world where attention is cheap and self-worth is often outsourced. But not you, not anymore, because the moment you decide to become the prize, you stop waiting for a seat at someone else's table and start building your own. Men admire women who are centered. They're drawn to the woman who has direction, not desperation. She isn't sitting at home wondering why he hasn't texted because she's at the gym or working on her business or out with her friends, living a full life. That fullness is attractive. That independence is powerful, and here's the secret. When you fill your own cup, you stop needing a man to fill the void. And that's exactly when men want to step in, not to complete you, but to be part of your overflowing world. You don't need to fake confidence to become the prize. You need to practice it. Every time you choose yourself over settling, your self-worth grows. Every time you say, "I deserve better," and actually walk away from what doesn't serve you, you reinforce the message that you are enough. And that message, when it's real, when it's internalized, it echoes. People feel it in how you move, and men. They sense it in how you react, or rather, in how you don't react. The woman who is the prize doesn't over-explain. She doesn't try to convince. She's already convinced of her worth. And because of that, she's not afraid to let go of anyone who doesn't match that frequency. A man will chase a woman who values herself more than she values his presence. Why? Because that tells him she's not afraid to walk alone. And men know, deep down, that the woman who is okay on her own is the woman who is worth keeping. But becoming the prize isn't just about detachment. It's about development. It's about becoming so emotionally and mentally secure that your happiness isn't tied to his mood, his texts, or his approval. You're not waiting for him to validate your beauty, your dreams, or your intelligence. You already know who you are. You already see the queen in the mirror, and you treat yourself like royalty long before any man steps in to do the same. This doesn't mean you never care. It doesn't mean you put up walls or act indifferent. It means your care comes from a place of wholeness, not neediness. You give love not because you need to be chosen, but because you've already chosen yourself. You don't lose yourself trying to make him stay. You stay grounded in who you are, and if he wants to be part of that, great. If not, you keep rising anyway. Let him wonder, let him be curious, let him earn you. Because when you become the prize, not every man gets access. Not every man gets to sit at your table. You're not cold, you're clear, you're not distant, you're discerning. And when he sees that you are content with or without him, it triggers the deepest instinct inside of him, the chase. So ask yourself right now, are you acting like the prize, or are you acting like the pursuer? Are you waiting for a man to validate you, or are you showing up daily as the most powerful version of yourself? Because that version, the one who chooses herself every day, that's the woman he'll chase. That's the woman who won't just attract a man, she'll attract the right man. The kind who sees her worth, respects her power, and matches her energy. And if that man hasn't come yet, don't worry. Keep becoming, keep glowing, because the moment you fully step into your worth is the moment the chase begins. Not because you tried to be wanted, but because you became unforgettable. There's something undeniably powerful about mystery. It's the space between words, the untold stories in your eyes, the pause before you speak. That mystery is not about playing games or being deceptive. It's about holding sacred the parts of yourself that not everyone has earned the right to access. When you create emotional mystery, you're not pushing people away. You're protecting your energy and allowing space for genuine curiosity, effort, and pursuit. And when it comes to making a man chase you, mystery is your silent magnet. Human nature craves the unknown. What we can't fully predict, we keep coming back to. What's easily available, constantly explained, and always eager to please quickly becomes familiar, and then, unfortunately, often taken for granted. That's not because men are cruel. It's because most people, without even realizing it, only value what they have to figure out, earn, or fight for. And when you make a man feel like he already knows everything about you before the second date, the story feels over before it ever really began. Creating emotional mystery doesn't mean becoming a blank wall. It means revealing yourself like a good book, one chapter at a time. Too many women think vulnerability means telling him every trauma, every fear, every thought right from the start. But real vulnerability is discernment. It's knowing who has the emotional maturity to hold your story and who doesn't. It's not about hiding your truth, it's about honoring it. And when you honor it, you don't throw it at someone hoping they'll stay. You let it unfold naturally, with time, trust, and earned effort. When you meet someone and immediately open every door of your soul, you remove the sense of wonder. And wonder is what sparks pursuit. Let him discover you, let him ask questions, let him wonder what you're thinking, where your mind wanders, why you smile the way you do. Let there be gaps in the story so that he has a reason to come back, not because you're keeping him in confusion, but because you're not trying to prove anything. You are simply living your life with depth and quiet dignity. There's something deeply attractive about a woman who doesn't over-explain herself. She doesn't rush to justify her decisions. She doesn't need to post everything or say everything or message constantly. She's present, but not pressed. She listens more than she talks, and when she does speak, her words hold weight because she's not just filling silence, she's offering substance. That subtle emotional distance, when done with grace and confidence, makes him lean in. He wants to know what's behind the calm. He wants to know what you're not saying. He wants to earn the right to hear the whole story, One of the most common mistakes women make is confusing communication with overexposure. They think that in order to build connection, they must be available 24/7, but availability is not the same as emotional intimacy. You can text someone all day and still be emotionally boring, or you can speak once a day and leave a lasting impression. It's not the quantity of connection, it's the quality. And quality requires space, intrigue, and rhythm. It needs tension, not conflict but tension, the kind that makes a man want to know more, to dig deeper, to try harder. When you maintain mystery, it's not about withholding affection or acting distant, it's about having layers. It's about having dreams he hasn't heard about yet. It's about having opinions you reveal slowly, letting him realize over time that you're more than what meets the eye. And that realization, that there's always more to you than he assumed, that's what makes him chase, not because he feels manipulated, but because he feels drawn in. You've become an unfolding experience, not a predictable routine. A woman with emotional mystery also understands the power of silence. She's not afraid to pause. She's not afraid to say, "Let me think about that," instead of offering immediate answers. She doesn't fill gaps with chatter to avoid discomfort. She's at ease in her own presence, and that comfort radiates. A man notices that. He senses the difference between a woman who's trying to keep him interested and a woman who's just deeply in tune with herself. And that energy, it's unforgettable. Many men are used to women oversharing out of fear of being misunderstood. But the woman who is comfortable not being fully known too soon is the woman who knows she's not for everyone, and that's okay. She's not trying to be instantly liked. She's not bending to be more palatable. She's grounded. She reveals her heart slowly like art. And when a man starts to see that there's always something more, always something deeper, he doesn't walk away. He leans in, he chases. Creating emotional mystery also protects you from emotional burnout. You don't drain yourself trying to prove how good or worthy you are. You give yourself time to evaluate him as well. Does he deserve your softness, your loyalty, your story? Just because he's interested doesn't mean he's qualified. And when you maintain that air of mystery, not because you're hiding, but because you're choosing, you also give yourself the space to decide. Not just whether he likes you, but whether you truly like him. Remember, mystery isn't the opposite of authenticity. It's the partner of it. It says, I'm real, but I'm rare. I'm true, but I'm layered. I'm open, but I'm not available to just anyone. And that kind of energy, combined with confidence, peace, and self-control, pulls the right kind of men toward you. Not the ones looking for instant gratification, but the ones willing to pursue, to show up, to earn the deeper parts of who you are. When you create emotional mystery, you give a man a gift, the chance to rise, to chase, to learn, to grow into the kind of man who doesn't just want you, but deserves you. And that kind of man, he won't stop chasing, because he knows that a woman with mystery isn't just something to admire, she's someone to keep discovering for life. There's a common misconception that the more you give to a man, the more he'll appreciate you. That if you cook for him, call him, message him constantly, plan every date, and go out of your way to meet his needs, he'll realize your value and stay. But the truth is, when you overgive too soon, you take away the space for him to invest. And without investment, there's no attachment. No pursuit, no chase. If you want a man to chase you, stop overgiving. Let him lead. Let him feel the gap. Let him put in effort to earn your energy, your time, and your attention. Men value what they work for. This isn't about manipulation. It's biology and psychology. When a man has to put in effort, emotionally and mentally, to win a woman, he places more value on her. But when everything is handed to him on a silver platter without any real effort from his side, it feels less meaningful. And it's not because he's ungrateful, it's because there's no sense of emotional investment from his end. And where there's no investment, there's no emotional ownership. You might think being overly kind, always available, and constantly initiating shows how much you care. But often, it just shows that you're too easy to access. You teach a man how to treat you by what you tolerate, and how much you offer without being asked. If he doesn't have to lift a finger, if you're always the one texting first, planning everything and giving more than he is, he doesn't feel the need to step up. He gets comfortable, and comfort is the enemy of desire. Desire is built in the tension of not knowing, in the energy of effort, in the chase. And that chase begins when you step back and allow space for him to come toward you. That means not texting him every morning just to make sure he's thinking of you. That means letting him be the one to initiate plans sometimes. That means not always being available at the snap of a finger. If he wants to see you, he'll make the effort. And if he doesn't, that's information, not a reason for you to work harder. You don't need to prove your love by overextending yourself. Your value is not measured by how much you can give to someone who's not giving the same in return. In fact, when you give too much without reciprocation, it doesn't feel generous, it feels desperate. And desperation never breeds desire. What does? Balance, emotional self-control, allowing room for pursuit. Giving from a place of mutual exchange, not from a place of trying to earn love. Letting a man invest first doesn't make you cold or distant. It makes you wise. It shows that you know your worth and that you're not going to carry the emotional weight of the relationship alone. You don't need to overwhelm him with attention to make him stay. You simply need to step back and allow him to show up. And if he doesn't, then he was never going to, no matter how much you gave. The most powerful thing a woman can do is stop overfunctioning in relationships. Stop trying to fix everything. Stop trying to be the one who holds it all together. Let the relationship be a two-way street. If he doesn't call, don't chase. If he doesn't initiate, don't overcompensate. When he starts to notice that you're not going to do all the emotional heavy lifting, he'll either step up or fall away. And both outcomes serve you, because you don't want to build a life with someone who only shows up when you do all the work. Let him feel your absence sometimes. Don't always be the first to respond. Don't rush to solve his problems or prove that you're different from other women. You prove your difference by your discipline, not your desperation. By how easily you walk away from situations that drain you. By how little you need to explain your standards. A woman who doesn't overgive demands attention, because her restraint makes people wonder, makes them work harder, makes them step up. And when a man does step up, when he begins to invest, respond. But match his energy, don't exceed it. Meet him where he is, don't try to pull him where he's not ready to go. Let the relationship build naturally through mutual effort. If he sends a thoughtful message, return it. If he plans a date, show your appreciation, but don't jump ahead. Don't start treating him like a husband when he's barely showing up as a boyfriend. That imbalance doesn't create connection, it creates pressure. And pressure pushes people away. One of the most attractive things about a woman is her emotional discipline, the ability to stay calm, confident, and detached until real consistency is shown. Not cold, not rude, just steady. She doesn't pour her heart out to someone who hasn't earned it. She doesn't rearrange her entire schedule for someone who only calls last minute. She doesn't give her time, energy, or emotional support to someone who's not showing signs of long-term interest. That discipline, that's what inspires a man to chase. If you're constantly overgiving, you don't give him the chance to show you who he really is. Because you've already taken on both roles, yours and his. Step back. Let him reveal himself. Give him space to miss you, to wonder about you, to realize your absence feels different. Because only in your absence does a man truly evaluate your presence. Only when you stop giving everything can he start to appreciate the things you used to give. And here's the truth. If a man really cares, you won't have to overgive. You won't have to fight for his attention. He'll make effort because he sees your value. He'll chase because he respects your energy. and he'll continue to show up because he knows you're not a woman who tolerates bare minimum. You are the kind of woman who makes him rise or walk away, and either outcome is a win, so pause, breathe. Let him do the work. You don't need to give more to be enough. You are already enough and the right man. He'll see it, he'll feel it, he'll chase it, not because you begged him to, but because you made room for him to show you who he really is. And in that space, the real connection begins. There is a rare kind of power in a woman who can walk away not in anger, not in bitterness, not in revenge, but in peace. A woman who can let go without fanfare, without drama, and without begging for closure, carries a strength that cannot be manufactured. It's this calm detachment, this emotional independence that makes her unforgettable. She doesn't try to guilt someone into staying. She doesn't fall apart when a man pulls away. She simply chooses her self-worth over her fear of loss. And that energy is what makes a man chase. Men are not wired to value what clings to them. They are wired to value what challenges them, what inspires growth, and what stands on its own. When a woman becomes emotionally detached, not cold, but unattached to the outcome, she becomes incredibly magnetic. Because most people expect you to fall apart when they pull back, most expect to be begged for attention, to be asked for answers, to be pleaded with. But when you don't react that way, when you walk in silence with your head high, it shakes them to the core. Emotional detachment isn't about being indifferent, it's about being rooted. It means that your peace doesn't depend on what someone else does. It means your joy, your value, and your identity are not attached to another person's presence or absence. You don't need someone to stay in order to feel whole. You've already done that work on your own. You've built a solid foundation. And anyone who wants to be in your life must add to it, not become your lifeline. Most women fear detachment because they confuse it with giving up. But walking away isn't giving up. It's choosing yourself. It's realizing that no relationship is worth losing your dignity, your self-respect, or your mental peace. It's understanding that love should never feel like convincing someone to see your worth. The moment you have to fight for basic attention, you've already given away your power. And the moment you reclaim it, the chase begins not because you asked for it, but because you stopped needing it. A man is most alert when he feels he's losing something valuable, not when she cries, begs, or pleads, but when she goes silent, when she no longer fights, when she no longer reaches out. That silence, it speaks. It forces reflection. It creates a void. And in that void, he starts to realize just how much she was bringing to the table without ever needing to boast about it. She was peace, she was consistency, she was effort, and now without her there's space, there's emptiness. And that's where the chase is reborn. You must understand that people only value what they feel they can lose. When you're always there, always available, always forgiving without boundaries, you teach him that he can do the bare minimum and still keep you. That's not love, that's dependency, and dependency kills desire. But when you walk away gracefully, when you detach with calmness, when you stop fighting for a place in someone's life, you give them the gift of realization. You give them the mirror, and that mirror doesn't lie. The woman who walks away without a storm leaves behind silence so loud it echoes in a man's mind. He remembers her not because she made a scene, but because she didn't. She let him go. She chose herself. And that kind of confidence, the kind that doesn't need to win anyone back, is rare. Men chase what they feel slipping away, not what clings to them for survival. And when he senses that you're no longer emotionally tied, he's forced to wake up, to evaluate, to decide. But emotional detachment doesn't come from pretending not to care. It comes from doing the deep work. From learning that your emotions don't need to control your actions, from realizing that you can feel disappointed and still walk away with grace. That you can love someone and still leave when your needs are no longer met. It's not about shutting your heart off, it's about opening it to yourself first. Because when you truly love and respect yourself, you can't stay where you're not valued. You can't keep showing up where effort is one-sided. The chase isn't just about mystery or playing hard to get. It's about creating space for a man to realize what he's losing. And that space only exists when you stop chasing, stop convincing, stop over-explaining. You don't need to say a word. Your silence is enough, your distance is enough, and your peace, that's the most attractive thing in the world. Let him feel your absence, let him miss your presence, let him wonder why you stopped trying, let him sit with the consequences of his inconsistency. Because if he truly wants you, he will rise, he will pursue, he will change, and if he doesn't, then your detachment saved you from years of emotional exhaustion. Either way, you win. The hardest thing you'll ever do is walk away from someone you care about, but sometimes walking away is the only way to remind them and yourself of your worth. You're not abandoning love. You're choosing alignment. You're choosing peace. You're choosing to no longer beg for the bare minimum. That kind of strength scares weak men, but it inspires strong ones to grow, to step up, to chase what they were once too comfortable with. Never underestimate the power of being okay alone. A woman who is not afraid to be alone is the most dangerous woman of all. She can't be manipulated with fear. She can't be swayed by empty promises. She can't be guilted into staying. She chooses who gets her energy, and she removes it when it's not honored. That's not cold, that's power. When you become that woman, calm, detached, at peace, you change the game. You no longer wait to be chosen. You do the choosing, and any man lucky enough to be chosen by you will know that he has to earn that place. Every single day, so if he pulls away, don't chase. If he goes silent, don't panic. If he takes you for granted, don't try harder. Detach, pull your energy back, focus on your life, your goals, your growth. Let him come to you, let him rise. Let him realize, and if he doesn't, you've already won, because a woman who can walk away in silence carries a power that no man can ignore.